So, you know, it's just not going to happen. So we thought, you know, we're going to create something that's extremely simple, focused on a particular use case. So we created an app called Free London. And it's a live HTML5 app, which is running on freelondon.cloudfoundry.com. So at the moment, you can point your iPhones and Android devices, less tested than iPhone, and you can find what the app does pretty much immediately. So essentially, one of the core use cases is that, you know, on Saturday morning, I wake up and my wife asks me what we're going to do today. Now, I don't want to spend £100, you know, on Pizza Express again, because I've done that 4 weeks ago. every week and for the last 4 weeks, and it's like the bills are racking up beyond me. So I'm thinking, okay, I want to do something free in this area, right? And I can't be bothered to look it up. I look up on Free London, and it's a desktop website, and by the time I get there, by the time it loads in, it's just a horrible experience, and I hate it. So so I thought we'll build something that's incredibly simple, and I just open Free London, which is a web app, and it shows me the free activities that are happening nearby, free places to discover, you know, free events. So for example, South Bank always runs free events, but you never really know what's on. So it could be a food market that's kind of, you know, free to explore, and there's like lots of yurts, pottery or something like that. You know, you could pop down to Freemasons Hall, you know, if you're that kind of into mystery kind of tours, etc. So we find basically that people don't want to plan, people don't want to kind of organize themselves, etc. They just want to be pleasantly surprised with a frictionless experience, which is just not even like, I don't want to even touch anything. By the time I open the app, I've already committed to tapping something. So I just want to see the nearest thing. If I don't like it, I just refresh and it will show me the next nearest thing. If I do like it and I want to commit to find out how to get there from here, I just tap this little link and it opens Google Apps directions to there. Sorry, Google Maps directions, which are built into every smartphone. So we didn't bother recoding that into this app. Just wanted to create very simple experience. So for example, if I find myself with my son somewhere in Chiswick, and he suddenly says, Dad, I want to go to a playground. Shit, don't know where to go. Open this up, and you know, within seconds I'll find out, and I'll find out how to get there, and it will be in sort of within 15 minutes walk, hopefully. What's the next slide? So the features are just simply geolocated, so that this app picks up your location, HTML5 geolocation, and it plucks up the nearest venue. You reload if you don't like it. It's free. We could also feature non-free events, which are kind of within that kind of threshold of expenditure that people are willing to commit to. The other thing as well is that the app works in both orientations, so if you turn it around, it kind of reskins itself through media queries in a seamless way. What does it really mean to people? We're covering your points, right? So it's basically, this is like a London companion, so I want to use this all the time. One of the very important aspects is that it's an app that's not just for one-time use, it's like something that I want to kind of use all the time, repeatability factor. So I'll grow to know this brand, Free London. It's kind of the spirit of revolution. We're freeing up the city for people. It's a friendly guide, so it's just there to assist you. It doesn't impose itself. It doesn't say go touch 4 things before you configure. It just shows you stuff that you might be interested in. And for tourists, you know, it's an exploration aid that can't land into the city, you know, and because again, I'm not really planning. I'm a student. Students never plan or whatever. Or I'm a family man. I just plan all the time. I don't want to plan. So where I've landed, I just want to find free stuff to do. That's it. Don't give me any planned stuff. So I had enough for that. That's really how people think. And if they don't get it immediately, I've had this thing. I've built apps like that I thought were amazing. I showed it to my wife, and she goes, "What does it do?" And my son was asking the same thing. Why do we need another search? Very good question. How do we monetize this? very good question from a 5-year-old. I was thinking, can you just like be a 5-year-old, please? Like, just change.
He just wants more pocket money. If you can't manage what it's around.
So we don't need another search. I mean, like people don't know. I've watched people try to use Google. First thing they do is they type Google into the search bar on Firefox. Then they go to Google homepage. Then they type in Hotmail. Then they come to Hotmail, and then they're like, God, that's how people use the internet. So they just don't know. They don't know. And I've seen so many user testing sessions. Always happens. Always happens. So I've covered the features. It's local places. It's kind of within a couple of kilometers. And it's just really free stuff. It's recession. Come on, people. You know, people don't want to spend money. So you know.
So it's a gift. It's a gift from Seniati.
Absolutely. And so I mean, and to a great extent, yeah. There's this phrase.
I've got kids. I get
it. There's this phrase called self-referential design, right? You're not supposed to do it. You sort of when as a user experience designer say it doesn't make sense to me, and then people say, but you're not a user, you're not a potential customer. So, but it still doesn't make sense to me. I'm not stupid, right? Or so I think. But yeah, so it's I tend to start from self-referential design. If it makes sense to me, hopefully it makes sense to other people. Yeah, so this completely frictionless experience. It's a running live web app, and Dan will cover a little bit about technology.
Has anyone actually got it loaded?
Yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Layout for the landscape.
Yeah, that's not working too well on Android at the moment. Mostly because he's an iPhone fanboy.
Well, so start by coding for iPhone, and then I use actually I brought my wife's Android phone, and I'm testing on that as well. So strategically, I got her an Android phone for a reason. That's not why.
Right, so we built the app. We use all the modern shiny. So we pulled in HTML5. So HTML5 document, we're pulling in some of the APIs, so geolocation to just pick up where you are. Can't be asked to type it into a box, and it's a pain in the ass typing on the phone.
You're using the apps from here.
We haven't used any of the apps that are demoed.
Yeah, but I'd like to speak to someone from Pearson's, please, because we can partner in on this one.
Yeah. We built it on Node.js, so it's a single page app running entirely on its own, so it's easily packaged up into PhoneGap, things like that. But we also built an API for it in Node.js that's run on top of MongoDB to store all the locations through geospatial coolness. There's front end is basically we use the Ender system to mash together a whole bunch of micro frameworks into something that fitted our needs, and then we started building this on top of that.
Got MongoDB covered.
Yeah.
Geolocation, hosted on the cloud. Yeah.
So
So it's a running live web app, and you know, the other important aspect to this is that unlike Foursquare and places like that, this would be like quite a curated content. So we're getting like I performed at most of the free London festivals because I actually play accordion and sing. So I'm actually very well linked in with festival organisers who just died to promote themselves on this because it's a very fun way of doing that. So I can link them up immediately and get very well curated content events that they could publish to this, and we could help them build a little API that feeds into this from their websites, and that's that.
And it's a frictionless experience.
And it's a frictionless experience. That's the most important thing. I don't want to think, I just want to be delighted. That's
Thank you very much.
Free London people.
Okay, have we got any more teams?
Yeah, so make money advertising.